What up, YouTube? Team Movies here with Blackbird opening this week and premiering on VOD. Since the film does star Oscar-winning actress Susan Sarandon, I decided to go ahead and do my top 10 favorite Susan Sarandon movies because she's a legend. I mean, she's been in the business for like decades. I mean, she's done comedy, she's done horror, she's always done some pretty good stuff. So, with that being said, here's my 10 favorite Susan Sarandon films. Coming in at number 10, I'm gonna add the film Stepmom. Now, this stars Ed Harris, who ends up divorcing Susan Sarandon's character, Jackie, after 30 years. But he ends up, dating like a younger, pretty much like a younger woman played by Julia Roberts. And of course, Julia Roberts' character, Kelly, Isabel Kelly, and Jackie ends up having ends up bonding at times, and she also ends up trying to become like a pretty much like a stepmom to his kids and all. Julia Roberts and Susan Sarandon both had some pretty good chemistry in this one. I liked Roberts' chemistry with the young kids in this. That was pretty good. A very young Janet Malone was in this. You also had some pretty good cast members, but the performances by Sarandon and Roberts was pretty good. Those two I thought play off each other pretty well. Alright. Coming in at number 9, I'm going to add White House. Now, this stars James Spader, who plays Mac Barron, who's this Jewish advertising executive who's in his 20s. And he is, still getting over the death of his wife. And so he ends up, falling for this 40-something diner worker named Nora Baker, played by Susan Sarandon. And so the age difference doesn't, they try to show that, age is just a number and all that. Anyway, James Spader and Susan Sarandon had some pretty steamy scenes in this. Yeah, there were some steamy parts in this film. I still thought Susan Sarandon and James Spader both had some pretty good chemistry for one another. James Spader, of course, is best known for voicing Ultron. He is also best known for The Blackest Flame and all that. Spader was terrific in this one. Sarandon was great. I mean, if you guys have not seen White Palace, I'll say give it a shot. It's a bit of a risque film, but it's actually still pretty good. Number 8, I'm going to add Dead Man Walking. Now, this is actually the film that won Sarandon her Oscar. I think it was her first Oscar, if I'm not mistaken. Can't remember if she won before this. But anyway, it's where when a death row inmate named Matthew Ponce, played by Chopin, is near his execution thing, and he ends up calling upon this nun named Sister Helen Prejean, played by Sarandon, to help him with one last appeal, and so trying to maintain that he is innocent of the murders of a young couple. Poncelet pretty much begins to form a bond with Prejean, and she ends up visiting both his family and relatives of the victim to try to clear his name and all. The film also stars Tim Robbins, who I believe Sarandon and Robbins was actually married before. I think they were either just dating or married. I can't remember between the two. But anyway, also Jack Black was actually in this, so that was interesting. Dead Man Walking is it's actually a pretty good film. A film about trying to prove someone's innocent. Sarandon, probably one of her best performances. She's definitely deserving of the Oscar. I know that's definitely a well-deserving Oscar win. You also Tim Robbins was terrific. Sean Penn, one of his coolest performances. I mean, if you guys have not seen Dead Man Walking, I'll say give it a shot. It's a pretty good little film. Number 7, I'm going to go with The Witches of Eastwick. Now, Now, The Witches of Eastwick is directed by George Miller, who also gave us the Mad Max movies, Happy Feet. He was supposed to give us Justice League movie one time, but yeah. And it's about these three small town friends named Alexandra, Jane, and Suki, who are each having lost a man in their lives, are feeling unfulfilled, until like this stranger played by Daryl Van Home, played by Jack Nixon, arrives and begins courting each of them in turn. And so like eventually Daryl ends up telling them that they are like witches here. But all three friends are like spending more time at his mansion and are enjoying themselves and all that. And they begin to worry about Daryl's like ultimate intentions and all. Sarandon stars in this alongside her two co-stars are Cher and Michelle Pfeiffer. Those three all had good chemistry. I mean, I guess you say this is like 9 to 5 if they were witches in a way. Anyway, this is also, I guess you say, like a it's like Hocus Pocus before Hocus Pocus was released in a way. Anyway, Jack Nixon I thought was terrific. The three leads played by, I mean, this, I guess you could say this was like a Me Too movie before Me Too became a thing. But if you guys have not seen Witches of Eastwick, it's a pretty good one. I mean, I always like the chemistry between Sarandon, Cher, and Pfeiffer. All three play off each other pretty well. And Jack Nixon was dynamite in this shit. I mean, who does not love Jack Nixon? Number 6, I'm going to add Lorenzo Zorio. Now, this is based on a true story of a father and mother who battled against the odds of... But they end up battling against the odds to save their son's life. And so they end up being dealt with a cruel blow by fate, and of course they're trying to pretty much, and their son, their like 5-year son Lorenzo, is diagnosed with a rare and incurable disease. And this movie actually scored a couple of Oscar nominations. The film also starred Sarandon, who co-starred with Nick Nolte. He was terrific. The one who plays the kid was pretty good. This movie is very heartfelt. Great performances by Sarandon, by Nolte. You're gonna need some tissues if you're watching this film. If you guys have not seen Lorenzo Zorio, it's a pretty good film. It got released in the early 1990s. Not really a movie many people talk about, but it's actually a pretty good one. Number 5, I'm gonna add The Hunger. Now this is a vampire horror film from 1981 that starred David Bowie as who plays this character named John, who's the lover of this gorgeous immortal vampire Miriam, played by Catherine Deneuve. And so here he has been led to believe that he'll live forever, but fortunately he quickly degenerate into like a horrible living death. And so Miriam ends up seeking a new companion, and she soon sets her sights on this woman named Sarah, who's this played by Sarandon, who's this lonely scientist who quickly falls under Miriam's spell and all. And so, of course, this was actually in the news. This film was actually in the news not so long ago because it was in that, like, reports that remake of this with Dakota Johnson might be in the works. But anyway, The Hunger is a pretty good one. It's a really good vampire film. I thought, David Bowie, come on. He, besides being a singer, he's a pretty good actor. Labyrinth, The Hunger. This is a pure classic vampire tale. If you guys have not really seen The Hunger yet, give it a shot. It's a pretty good one. Alright. Number 4, I'm going to add the film The Client. Now, this is directed by the late, great Joe Schumacher. And, it is based on a John Grisham novel. And, it's about this young kid played by the late Brad Renfro, whose life ends up being in danger after he stumbles across a bit of information about politicians' murder, and so he ends up being framed for the murder. And you got Sue Sarandon, who plays his lawyer, who's of course trying to get him off the case and all. You got Tommy Lee Jones, who portrays like pretty much portrays the FBI agent who's tracking him down. The Client is a pretty good cat and mouse type game. Brad Raphael, this was actually like his major first feature film. Tragedy passed away at a very young age. I believe he passed away at the age of 28, or I think he was younger than that. He was actually pretty terrific in this one. Susan Sarandon, his chemistry with Sarandon was pretty top notch. Tommy Lee Jones was great. It was very intense. It was a nice legal film. If you guys have not seen The Client, give it a shot. I think, I don't remember if it scoring an Oscar nomination. I think probably Susan Sarandon scored one. I gotta double check that one. Alright, number 3 is the baseball classic Bull Durham. Now, you know, it's where like the Bulls minor league baseball team ends up having one in the set, you know, what for the claim, and so like a poetry-loving groupie named Annie Stovall, played by Sarandon, and there ends up being like a like love triangle between this baseball recruit player named Evie Calvin Luge, played by Tim Robbins, as well as this veteran player named Crash Davis, played by Kaiser, and they end up trying to pretty much win Annie's heart and all. Bull Durham is a pretty good one. There is like a steamy scene that's featured in the film. Kevin Costner, Susan Sarandon were both great. Tim Robbins, I mean, like I said, they were together in real life, so obviously Sarandon and Robbins, you know, had pretty good chemistry in this. It's probably one of my favorite baseball movies. Of course, I did my 10 best baseball movies last year. Bull Durham was in that list. It's a good one. It's not only about baseball, it's about romance, so there's that. I mean, there's stuff for everyone. There's like, if females aren't really into baseball, at least the movie is, you know, has romance in it. So it's a little something for everyone, you know. But if you guys have not really seen Bull Durham, it's a pretty good one. Alright, number 2, I'm going to add the Rocky Horror Picture Show. One of the classic horror musicals there is. Come on, you've got Tim Curry as the drag queen, Dr. Frank F. and Further. You know, you got Susan Sarandon, who pretty much plays the lead character here, Janet, who, and you got Barry Bosworth, who plays like sweethearts who ends up being stuck with a flat tire during a storm, and they end up discovering that like an eerie mention of Dr. Frank Furter, who's a transvestite mention, who's pretty much a transvestite scientist. And you got a few interesting group of characters here. You got a rocking biker played by Meatloaf. You got Creepy Butler portrayed by Richard O'Brien. This has some really iconic music in this. I mean, Rocky Horror Picture Show is one of the most iconic musicals of the 70s. It's a terrific one. It's that time. Who did not love Rocky Horror Picture Show? Tim Curry, I mean, come on, he what a cool career Tim Curry had. I mean, he played a pirate, he played a butler, he played a creepy clown. Who just does not love Tim Curry? He is the man. And I thought Tim Curry was terrific in this one. The horror aspect was good, had some of the best music. If you guys have not seen Rocky Horror Picture Show, give it a shot. It's a really good one. It's a classic right there. Alright, my number 1 favorite Susan Sarandon movie of all time obviously goes to Thelma and Louise. I mean, this is the best film she's ever done. You know, of course... Sorry about that. Anyway, of course this... Alright, sorry about that. Anyway, now Thelma and Louise, of course, stars Susan Sarandon as well as Gina Davis, who plays these lifelong friends who pretty much ends up going on a bit of a road trip, and they're escaping from the law as well. Because meek housewife Thelma, played by Gina Davis, and her friend Sarandon, who's also this independent waitress, who are on like a short fishing trip. However, their trip becomes a fight from the law when Louise ends up shooting and killing a man who tries to rape her and all. You got Brad Pitt in one of like his breakout roles. You also had Harvey Keitel. You had the likes of Chris McDonough. The film, was of course directed by Ridley Scott. Thelma and Louise is a film about female friendship. This is definitely a movie I think that will be perfectly made today because of the whole Me Too movement and female empowerment nowadays. And come on, Thelma. Pretty much, if you really want to look at Susan Sarandon and Gene Davis, pretty much invented the selfie. Because there's like a thing where they take a picture of each other as people do take selfies nowadays. If you look at, they really invented the selfie stuff. But anywho, if you guys had never seen Thelma and Louise, it got released in 1991. One of my favorite films of that year. I watch it almost all the time whenever I see it on TV. It's a terrific one. Definitely go check out Thelma and Louise if you guys never seen that. Alright, that's pretty much it. Let me do the quick rundown. 10, Stepmom. 9, White Palace. 8, Dead Man Walking. 7, The Witches of Eastwick. 6, Lorenzo's Oil. 5, The Hunger. 4, The Client. 3, Bull Durham. 2, The Rocky Horror Picture Show. And number 1 is Thelma and Louise. Now, there's loads of other ones I probably could have added. Let's see. Tammy, she was in with Melissa McCartney. The Meddler with Rose Byrne. The Lovely Bones with Saoirse Ronan. Enchanted, Pretty Baby. She was in the movie Little Women with Winona Ryder. That's a pretty good one. She was in Bad Moms Christmas, which, by the way, there have been reports about like a Bad Moms spin-off featuring her, as well as Cheryl Hines and Christine Baranski, so that's supposed to be coming out down the line. She was in that Richard Gere movie, Arbitrage. Atlantic City she was in. Shall We Dance, which also had Richard Gere in it. The Big Wedding with Robert De Niro and Robert Williams. Snitch with Dwayne Johnson. She was in that Big Lebowski spin-off to Jesus Road, which I still haven't seen yet. I gotta check that one out. The Banger Sisters, Anywhere But Here with Natalie Portman. Alfie with Jude Law. She was in that not-so-good Cloud Atlas movie. She was in Elizabethtown, which wasn't good. Speed Racer, which was more of a guilty pleasure. Mr. Woodcock with Sean William Scott and Billy Bob Thornton. In the Valley of Elah. Igby Goes Down, Cradle of Rock. She was in That's My Boy with Adam Sandler. She was in, she's been in so many stuff over the years. Anyway, let me leave you guys. What are some of your favorite Susan Sarandon movies? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. This is Tim Movie signing off.